Welcome, everybody. It's I, Jason, one of your co-hosts of the new podcast, Two Best Friends Talk Video Games. You may also know me as the Red Viking on YouTube, on Twitch, on Twitter. And my co-host over here...
Hi there, I'm Chad, also known as Dragonheart Rising. And we're here to talk about the top 10 best video games of Pokemon of all time. According to IGN, anyway. We might have differing opinions.
Quite. I don't know who voted on this, but...
I was going to say, I wonder what the basis for it is, because some of them do it financially, others do it just based on opinion or unvoted.
Yeah, voting is probably my favorite one, because then you'll find out what people are actually thinking. It's IGN's team of resident Pokemaniacs battled it out, only with words. I was hoping with Pokemon. And decided on this list of the top 10 best Pokemon games ever made as we wait for Scarlet and Violet to arrive. Number 10! Arceus. Arceus. Squeaking.
Interesting that it's so low on the list.
Yeah, number 10. Wait, what'd they say? Similar to Pokemon Go, Pokemon Legends Arceus puts more emphasis on collecting than battling. Returning to the gotta catch 'em all. They had concerns about Legends graphics and open world, which don't quite do justice to its innovation. I mean, yeah, that was number 10. Went all into an impressively seamless and addictively fun experience that it deserves to be counted among the very best Pokemon games. Yeah, at number 10. So it just barely made it.
It's in the best, barely, but it's in the best.
Hey, it's not like a honorable mention or something like that. It's actually in the list. But yeah, number 10.
Which they are right on that one, because with the main game, there's not as much battling. And then with the DLC, they bring in kind of like similar to the battle towers from previous games, where it's like this is your battle challenge, not quite to the extent of some of them, but you get all these different battles that you can do and all these different other battle challenges that you can do that were different from other games. So they did do that, but yeah, I can see where a lot of people are like, there's hardly any battling, because I think in the main game there was maybe 7.
Yeah, there's not much at all.
Yeah, and it's like when you're going through the game, and I think most of those battles, actually probably over half of them, are in the final area alone. And then one of them is at like the very end of the game, and it's one of the hardest battles that's in the game by far. It's a very tough battle if you're not prepared for it. Yeah, so I can kind of see where Pokemon's mainly about battling as well as collecting, but a lot of people, of course, prefer the battling part of it. And yeah, it just wasn't as much in there. And it's a whole different system too.
It's it's a huge departure from what we came to expect.
Yeah, well, for sure it was.
That's where, I would go like, similar to the Pokemon Go, more of an emphasis on collecting, because that's really it. Like the whole thing was, explore, collect, and it was so much more relaxed. It was like, just have fun, enjoy it.
Yeah. And it's like, you got to fill the Pokedex, but you can't fill it the way that you're used to by just simply catching the Pokemon. You have to explore the different areas of it.
Yeah.
And if you're wanting to just get enough to get it officially, it's like this Pokemon's caught and it's got enough data to get to what they call level 10, where it's considered caught by our normal standards. But if you want to fully complete it, like there's quite the endeavor. If you want to do all of them, definitely no shortage of gameplay in this game, that's for sure.
Yeah, it's true. You can put a lot of hours into it. So it's still a full game.
Oh yeah. And yeah, there's a lot you can do with it. And once the DLC was added, it's like, okay, there's a lot of collecting. There's a lot of different stuff to do with Pokedex by using moves or battling different types or using super effective type moves or all sorts of stuff. And then if you want to just run around and shiny hunt, even
Oh
Uh,
goodness. Yeah, shiny hunting in the game.
oh
So
yeah, and
rare.
yeah, and as you fill your Pokedex more and more, the odds get better and better. So that's like, oh, there's motivation. So yeah, if you're a completionist shiny hunter, boy, you can have a lot of fun with that game.
Yes, yes. And you will know it, you'll hear it, you will see it, hopefully.
Kind of like as soon as you hear it, save the game wherever you're
Yeah.
at, and then run around and find it.
Yeah.
Because then if you reload the game, it'll still be there.
You ready for the next one?
Let's see it.
New Pokemon Snap.
Oh yeah,
Wait, they said the original Pokemon Snap was strange, but wonderful.
strange.
Wonderful little experience back in the day, well ahead of its time. New Pokemon Snap offers a magnificent reimagining of the joy of Pokemon photography. Sequel has more Pokemon areas, puzzles, and photo possibilities than the original game ever could have dreamed. Well, yeah, because it was on the N64. Now we're on the Switch.
And it was the first gen, and now we've got 8.
Yep. The new Pokemon Snap's creatures are adorable and alive, interacting with one another, the world, and the player in increasingly delightful ways. Never fails to entice players to go on just one more expedition to solve the mysteries of how to get every single rare and beautiful shot. The new DLC makes it worth further revisit. I never actually played the DLC. I didn't even know it had that.
Yeah, I think there was a couple new areas. I'm trying to remember.
Oh,
I think I went through one of them anyway. Not sure
okay.
if I ever did the other one.
I actually might want to try that out. Do you know how much is the DLC free or does it cost money?
I'm pretty sure that one was free.
Okay.
Uh,
I might
pretty
have to
sure.
give that a shot because actually I really enjoyed New Pokemon Snap. I thought it was really good.
It was so much fun.
Yeah.
And going from just, like taking one type of photo of Pokemon to taking up to 4 stars, like 4 different types of photos. It's like,
Yes.
oh yeah, that's an even funner of a challenge.
Yeah. Like they're saying in here, interacting. So yeah, they would have conversations with one another, which I thought was so cute. Then you could
Mhm.
throw like whatever it is to entice them over. You get their
Yep.
happiness, their or they get offended.
Yes.
All sorts of stuff. See them do like a move or like a cool animation thing. Oh, it's fun. And
So much.
that was the part that I loved about where they said puzzles. There was a lot of hidden areas you could go to as well. I enjoyed it. Honestly, this was probably one of my favorite Nintendo Switch Pokemon games that I played. I was
Hmm.
so happy that I gave it a shot because just like I was talking with IGN giving Gotham Knights a 5 out of 10, I think that's way too harsh. I
Yeah.
think people that say that this game is too short or there's not enough different types of Pokemon in there, maybe the game wasn't for you because I knew what to expect going into Pokemon Snap. I was just really hoping it wouldn't take 2 to 3 hours to beat, which thankfully
Right.
it didn't. It actually took longer than that. But
Hmm.
yeah, tons of replayability, as well as you could do like customize the photographs too.
Yeah, exactly. And post them, and you can get rated and everything. It was so awesome with that.
Yeah, yeah, really, really cool. If you just want to play something extremely relaxing as you're laying down in bed, that's a perfect
Hmm.
game to play.
Absolutely.
Yeah, new
Yeah.
DLC. Oh my goodness, I gotta check
Okay.
that out.
Here you go. Here you go. Here's your DLC. It's actually not DLC. Well, sort of. It's a free update, which includes
Oh,
three new areas to explore, each with day and night versions, and
okay.
20 more to photograph. And
Oh,
so
okay.
there's the rocky cliffs and the barren badlands, and
Yes.
then the rapids of the mighty wide river, and then there's the secret side path, which I think I actually did do all 3 of those.
Okay.
I have to go back to do that again.
Okay, so when they said new DLC, I wasn't really being like, how did I not hear about this?
Yeah, because I was kind of tripping on that too. I was like, wait a minute, I don't remember paying for anything else. And I was like, wait, there was an update though. I remember that. And yeah, that's what they'd be referring to.
Okay, okay. So IGN, you should fix this. Even though I shouldn't say I know, but there's almost a 99.9% chance you're not going to be watching or listening to this. That's very misleading, actually.
Yeah, well, then again, when we think of DLC, we automatically think of, you're paying for it because it's paid DLC for most of the time.
Yeah,
But DLC is just being downloadable content, which technically
Technically.
Technically, that's true. It's a free update, which sounds, a little nicer than DLC, but
As well as if you put that into the article, it would actually be like, oh, I gotta go, update my game and check out
Mhm,
what it is.
exactly.
But yeah, so it's
'Cause-
definitely worth revisiting the game again.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, new Pokemon Snap number 9. Not really a big surprise. I
Hmm.
would like to see it higher, but at the same time, I'm sure that better games are going to be mentioned.
True.
Yeah, you ready for the next one?
Let's see it.
Oh, Sword and Shield got 8. Woo!
Wow, I thought that would have been higher.
Yeah. Sword and Shield brought with it an impressive array of quality of life improvements for both casual gym badge acquirers and competitive battlers alike. Not bad for a game that lacks a complete national Pokedex. Yep, there it is. Random encounters are largely replaced by Pokemon that frolic in the overworld, like the innovative new Wild Area, making exploration and backtracking smooth and easy. Pokemon's moves can be changed at will at any Pokemon Center, so choosing a new one isn't an agonizing decision shadowed by consequences. And with the introduction of new items like Nature Mints and other breeding mechanics, battle-ready Pokemon are much more realistically within reach. By removing these long-standing barriers, Sword and Shield allowed experimentation, creativity, and fun to flow like never before.
So true.
So why did it only get 8? Is it
I
because of the lack of complete national Pokedex?
I wonder because a lot of people were going to be boycotting it
Oh,
before.
yes, the boycotts.
Yeah, they're like, "Oh, no national decks. Oh, we're going to boycott Sword and Shield," and then it just shot right up to the top of the sales.
Yeah, it sold
Um,
really well.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's actually at the top for Pokemon sales. I don't think. Well, I mean, the Sword and Shield, you got the two of them together, so Legends Arceus wouldn't be able to bounce up. And I know BDSP didn't hit quite that high either.
Yeah,
But yeah, Sword and Shield ended up doing really well, and big with obviously competitive battling and all sorts of different other perks besides the game itself. And I was like, oh, this is really really cool.
yeah.
Yeah, it was definitely a fun one.
Yeah, I thought they
Well,
did good with it. I enjoyed
they did.
it.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, the only thing I would say with it is obviously the wild area. You lose frame rate, but
Yes.
whatever.
Well, connected online anyway.
Yes. And that's the hard part. When you are connected online and you got people from all over the world that are running off of Wi-Fi, or they
Hmm.
just have bad internet that can barely do online play, it's going to be really hard. Really
Yeah,
hard.
absolutely. And I mean, we can't forget too that Nintendo's kind of newer to the online gaming with
Yeah, yeah, this is the first generation they've really embraced it.
yeah, exactly. And so it's like, yeah, it's not going to be perfect, and that's fine. You look at, like you said, the frame rate. I mean, for me personally, I still find it humorous when different Pokemon YouTubers and other people who've been playing it for so long are like bothered about the frame rate or anything like that. It's like, okay, you're looking at the engine of the Switch. Now it's good. It's really, really good. But it's kind of inevitable that when you get into the huge open world stuff, it's not going to be perfect.
Yeah.
Like it's going to have this frame rate issue. And
Hmm.
so going into it, it's like, okay, how much a delay are we going to get, or how much of an issue are we going to have with this one? Not
Yeah.
matter if, but how much. Don't let it get in the way, because then once you get into the battling part of it, it's going to be way better, consistently way better. And so, yeah, it's like that's kind of the main thing.
Yeah. A part of it is too just talking about like those, like the Pokemon YouTubers.
Hmm.
Part of it as well would be it gets you so many clicks. I'm sure I haven't done like a video on that. I'm sure that's just going to bring so many people in there that are going to be angry. They're going to be
Hmm.
defending the Switch. And then, hey, you're getting the view, you're getting the comments. Like, it's not the end of the world. Like for those people, they're going to get their ad revenue. So they'll be making money off of these angry people. It's pretty clickbaity. It's the same thing as saying there is going to be a new Nintendo Direct next month, as well
Right.
as at that new Nintendo Direct, a new Nintendo Switch is going to be announced. It is going to get you so many clicks.
Yeah.
And then people are going to get angry and be like, "Oh no, you're clickbaiting." I don't know. I don't know why this only got number 8. I am actually pretty curious about what else there is in here.
Yeah. The funny part too with the national decks is the national decks actually ended in Sun and Moon with Gen 7
Hmm.
because the Pokedex itself only has 400 entries. I think it was 350 actually in Sun and Moon, and then 400 in Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon.
Hmm.
Like Gen 6, the ones for it, they had the full national decks, but Gen 7 didn't. And then it's like Gen 8, oh, there's still no national Pokedex. The difference is with Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon, they were still compatible,
Hmm.
but there was no actual national decks. And so then with Sword and Shield, okay, now you're not going to have full compatibility with all Pokemon. And moving forward, we probably won't have full compatibility with any of them now, too.
Hmm.
But you get a lot.
You do. You do. And I mean, actually, what I'm curious about is how many people out there only play Pokemon games and that's it. Because you
Mm,
get people that are like Call of Duty fans and all they play is Call of Duty, or you
right.
have sports fans and all they play is whatever sports game they like.
Mm-hmm.
So the way that I kind of view it is like with those people, they always complain because they want more of the only game that they play for that year. And now that Pokemon, and we'll see about this.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm just gonna go out on a limb and say, and now that Pokemon is kind of going out to almost like a yearly release, like there's a new Pokemon game out. How many people are spending thousands upon thousands of hours, and that's why they're complaining that they can't collect every single Pokemon for a complete national Pokedex.
Mm,
Because
right.
I would say out of millions upon millions of sales that Pokemon gets for every new entry, I would say probably like a small handful of those people are actually super hardcore and want to collect everything, like absolutely everything.
True.
So it might be that really loud minority that is the ones complaining about it.
Yeah, because then at the same time, Pokemon Home came out, and it's like if you want to do a full national dex, you can do it there.
Yep.
So it's you still got the option to do it. But then just within the game, it kind of makes it a little better for competitive wise too. Because then, if you look at the first 5 generations, you've got what I would say 4 different Pidgeys.
Mm-hmm.
Because you got the Pidgey line in Gen 1. Actually, you basically got 5, because then you got Hoothoot in Gen 2. You got Taillow in Gen 3. You got Starly in Gen 4.
Oh
And
yeah,
then you got
Starly.
Pidove. Yes. And then you got Pidove in Gen 5. They're all normal flying types. Most of them are 3-stage evolutions. A couple of them are 2.
Yep.
And they're typically fast with good physical attack. So to put all 5 of them into one game would be kind of redundant. So to break it up like that a little bit kind of makes it nicer for the flow of the game too. Then it's like, okay, we're gonna have Pidove in Sword and Shield, and we're gonna have Hoothoot in Sword and Shield,
Yeah.
but the other we're not gonna bother with those right now. And it really didn't matter because then BDSP comes out and you get all the first 4 generations of them. So it's like,
Mhm.
okay, between all the different games, you're bound to find at least one of each of the Pokemon that you really want to train.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's quite true. On top of that, even if say you want to complete your entire national Pokédex, how many of those Pokemon are you actually going to train? Like actually use in parties and all that?
Exactly. Like I was just playing Yellow earlier, and I got a Gengar on my team, and I'm like, okay, or not on my team, but I've got him in my game, and I'm
Yep.
like, okay, good in Gen 1, but I'm like, oh, he's so much better in Gen 2. Then he gets a legitimate good ghost type move, even though it's based off of the wrong stat. He still
Yeah.
has it. Like, okay, that would be a little better, but
Hmm.
I still like him in Gen 1. So it's like, but I'm not going to use him on my team because I've got Alakazam.
You don't want to do Ghost and Psychic? No, I'm kidding.
Well, given that Gengar's best moves are actually psychic in that game,
Yeah,
no.
yeah, no, it's true. It's funny because as much as I want to say like Ghost was underrepresented in Gen 1, you did have a whole
Mhm.
town that was dedicated to Ghost.
It's true.
So, and it's probably the most memorable one, in the game as well. Aside from like being in your OG town, right? But
True.
I mean, it's the one that people talk about all the time, especially at this time of year. You know,
Yes.
maybe a little bit biased because we're talking about this on October the 29th. Yeah. Yeah, let's move on to the next one.
Hmm.
Let's see what else we got. Pokemon Puzzle League. I was not
Okay.
expecting this. Number 7, Pokemon Puzzle League. Puzzle League is probably one of the best looking games on the N64. Really? I thought Pokemon Stadium was actually really, really good. It's effectively a reskin of Panel de Pont. I don't know what that is. An outstanding Super NES puzzle game in which blocks are cleared by arranging colors in horizontal or vertical lines. Familiar look of the anime. I don't know why it got 7. I but here, I never really played this game,
Hmm.
so I don't really have a lot I can say about it.
Yeah,
What about you?
I started it like when it got onto the N64 on the Switch there.
Oh, okay, it's released on that. Okay.
Yeah, it's on there, and so I started it, and I'm like, eh, not really my thing for sure.
Yeah, like I'll play Tetris.
Oh
I'll do
yeah,
that like any day of the week. That's fine, but I never really cared for this style of puzzle game.
yeah, me neither.
Interesting. So that got number 7. Anything else you want to say about this one or move on?
Not much to say other than shocking,
Yeah, it is better than Sword and Shield.
right?
Okay, Pokemon Go
Oh,
got
figure that
number
would be.
6. I'm okay with that. Uh,
Hmm.
2016 is when it came out. It's your AR game. I think we all know what Pokemon Go is at this point.
Yep.
Yeah, PvP battling. Can fight Team Rocket. They've been around for a couple years now.
Hmm.
Is not slowing down. Yeah, because it gets so many updates, so many of those special events. Only thing I'll say about this game is it can get very expensive.
Oh my word, yes.
It can get extremely expensive. I've taken a break from it because it felt like it was going in a direction that didn't reward you to use incense nearly as much.
Yeah,
So that kind of hurt as well.
yeah.
Overall, though, I mean, if you like to play games on your phone, and hopefully if you're going out for hours on end, you have a portable phone charger on you because it kills batteries.
Yep.
Um, it's a fun game. It is addicting. It's cool to go to like new towns and then just open it up and see how popular Pokemon Go is in that area.
Yeah.
Aside from that, number 6, I'm actually okay with that position, like right around the middle of the top 10.
Mhm.
If it was like
Definitely.
top 3, I'd be like, well, if you want to go with like what kind of revitalized Pokemon for like extremely casual fans,
Hmm.
it was probably really, really good for that.
Yeah, for
But
sure.
it's not traditional, so yeah, 6 is okay. I still think Sword and Shield being as low as it is surprising.
It is for sure. It's funny because I do have two games in mind, and I won't say what they are.
Yeah.
Be interested to see if they show up on the upper part. They're definitely two of my favorites, but
Hmm.
yeah, with Pokemon Go, it's like, yeah, that's pretty good. On top of which, speaking of killing the battery,
Yes.
so I fully charged it up at night, and then like my phone up at night, and then I had it off the charger because it's my alarm clock as well.
Hmm.
And so my alarm clock goes off, and I'm looking at my battery, and it's at like 65, and I'm like, what in the world? I wasn't even doing anything with it.
Hmm.
And then I noticed if you lose your battery like really, really, really quickly,
Hmm.
if it says it on there to allow tracking, uh, it's
Oh, yeah.
it's different from being connected to your health app and being able to hatch eggs, that kind of stuff while you walk.
Hmm.
But if you have it on the allow tracking setting, then that's what'll kill it really, really fast. Because usually I can go, if I have the game open consistently, I can go for about 2 to 3 hours without worrying about it too much. It'll get down to about 20% by that point, and that's on a battery that's about 85% capacity.
Yeah.
But if that allow tracking thing is on, you don't even have to have it on; it'll just die quickly. So if you're having that problem, check that setting.
No, that's a good point. That's a good point. Yeah, I was just thinking like you do some raids and then go to a gym, maybe knock people out of the gym, and then
Mm-hmm.
spin it, and then when you look at your phone, you're like, oh yeah, it's gone down 5% or 10% or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I felt. And then when I was doing the PvP battling, because I got into that for a little while,
Okay. Yeah.
that's just something where after I do, how many can you do again? There's only so many certain amounts of battles you can do in PvP per day,
Right.
but I would max that out and I'd be down about like 30% or something like that. So it's just one of those games where I don't play many games at all on my phone. Pokemon
Mm-hmm.
Go was like easily the one that I played the most on my phone, so that's really my one thing that I go off of. Compared to watching YouTube videos even. YouTube videos doesn't kill it that fast. But Pokemon
True.
Go, it was different. So that's the one thing that I think of. Like, if you want to go out for the day, go for a walk around, say, a park or something like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Might want to bring like your charger with you or something like that, because at some point you'll need to charge it before you get home.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, fun game, super addicting. The only
Mm-hmm.
thing I would say that I don't like is how much money you can spend if you want to basically collect all the legendaries when they come out by doing all the raid battles, and you live in a town that doesn't have a lot of people that play it,
Oh yeah.
then you're spending money because you can only get so many of those remotes per day.
True. Very true.
But yeah, aside from that, fun game. I enjoy it.
Mm-hmm.
Actually,
Definitely.
I like how many of those oh, Emerald we got for number 5.
Ooh, nice.
A lot of people actually like this game, especially on Twitch.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so Pokemon Ruby and Sapphire were worthy successors to Gold and Silver, introducing double battles, abilities, natures, but it was Pokemon Emerald that took everything that was good about those games and truly polished it into something legendary. Perhaps the
And
most fleshed perhaps the most fleshed out third version in the history of the franchise. It brought forth several worthwhile changes, and top among them was the Battle Frontier. Uh, it made it for the most complete and rewarding post-game content in the series, with 7 different Frontier Brain trainers to challenge across the 7 distinct facilities. It offered a serious challenge to trainers that arguably hasn't been met since. It's a testament to its enduring quality that even 2 decades after release, Pokemon Emerald stands as one of the best Pokemon games ever made.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, and this guy here is still pretty good in Pokemon Go.
Oh yeah.
Just going back to him one last, or going back to Pokemon Go one last time. Um, you've played this one.
Yeah.
What do you think of number 5 for it?
I would say that's about the lowest you'd want to put that game
Yeah.
because it really was that good. Talking about like I said, the Battle Frontier. If you're into like competitive type battling, you want something to do in game that's competitive, then yeah, the Battle Frontier was definitely good for that.
Hmm.
Um, Interesting because with the anime, they did the Battle Frontier in the Gen 3 series, but it was taking place in the Kanto region, which is the where Ash is from.
Yeah.
So they kind of wavered from that a little bit, but yeah, it was still really good and kind of highlights what the Battle Frontier is all about, and that's battling these top tier trainers. You got to do different styles of battling.
Hmm.
It's great to expand your ideas about battling and different strategies and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
It's great to your mind to that. Yeah, and it's just like the storyline itself is fun too. The Ruby Sapphire Emerald story is really good as well. with Emerald, you get if you've played Ruby Sapphire, then with Emerald, the gym leaders are also a little different, and some of them are a little more difficult, and
Hmm.
so you get a bit more of a challenge as well. And yeah, like overall, especially for a third game in the series, then it was definitely a good one. Kind of makes
Yeah.
me want to go back.
Makes you want to go back and play it again.
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah, it was definitely a top tier game.
And now we're going into, there's just 4, 3, 2, 1 left. So
Mhm.
now to see, yeah, we haven't seen what I'm thinking of,
Okay, we
but
haven't seen it either.
nice, nice. All right, number 4, Pokemon Conquest. I never
Oh,
played this.
me neither. Oh, it's a unique and unmissable game. Well, apparently it is. I missed it.
So strategy game, no. Nobunaga's ambition came entirely out of left field, but works so astonishingly well that finds itself among the best Pokemon spin-off titles out there. Pokemon Conquest exists in its own fantastic world with its own rules, in which warriors link with Pokemon instead of catch them, and grow and evolve right alongside them. Collecting
Oh,
sets of both the vibrant characters and cool Pokemon put a new spin on catching them all. On the battlefield, the environmental obstacles and positioning added an extra strategic layer to Pokemon's familiar element-focused battle system. A strategy RPG, Pokemon Conquest has its own unique flair drawn from both of its sources, making the combo twice as sweet.
interesting.
What was this even released on?
That's what I was trying to
Hold
remember.
on. Hold on. Pokemon Conquest.
Oh, okay.
Huh.
Yeah, I've never played that one before.
It released in 2012. Yep, I never touched it. It's on the DS, so that'll probably be hard to even play that game ever.
Yeah, even to find it.
Hmm. Emulators, ROMs, no. Just saying, just saying. I don't know.
Right?
I don't know where else you could get it unless you buy a DS and then probably spend like a lot of money on this game.
Yeah, that's just it. Because like I've got a DS, but I don't know how much that would cost. Yeah.
But apparently it's number 4 and it's unmissable, and yet we both missed it. So what does that
Yep.
tell you?
I'm not sure.
Next one,
Next one.
Fire Red, Leaf Green.
Oh,
I'm
there's
actually kind of surprised it got 3.
yeah. Probably would have switched it with Emerald actually.
Yeah,
It was the other way around, but still really good games too.
they were. They were because they did do some cool things. Yeah, introducing numerous new features such as recap of previous activities. First attempt at wireless trading and battling. Oh, I didn't know it was
That's
the
right.
first time. Okay. Brand new area in the Sevi Islands. All the massive improvements to typing, battling, and Pokemon moves that have been added in generations since. Red and Blue may maintain a warm place in our hearts all those years later, but by far the best way to re-experience the excellent region of Kanto is through Fire Red and Leaf Green. True.
Yeah, because then you've got the Dark type and Steel type that are in there now.
Yeah.
Uh, you'd have a few extra Pokemon to capture because of it being the third gen instead of just the one. Different options. You could get those what they call the elemental hyper beams, like Blast Burn, Frenzy Plant, and Hydro Cannon on
Yes.
this. So that was really cool. Even just like I said, right now I'm playing through the Gen 1 games, and it was reminding me of how much fun the Gen 3 remakes really were. And of course the first
Yeah.
one's few remakes. And yeah, like they definitely are a lot of fun for sure.
Hmm. So
That's
Fire
for
Red
later.
and Leaf Green, number 3.
Mm-hmm. Like I said, I probably would have put it a little lower on the list, but definitely on the list for sure.
Yeah. Kind of makes me wonder if they're actually going to have like red, green, or yellow or anything like that then higher up on the list. I
I
don't
wonder.
know. Yeah. Because then if so, then it's like, well, what do you say about this? Because you say this is by far the best way to, re-experience that region.
Yeah,
I don't
but
know.
yep, if if you're not able to get those games either, the Let's Go games are a good way to do it too. Even though it is a bit different, obviously with the catching mechanic and battling and all that kind of stuff, it is a little
Yeah.
different. But in the post game, you do get some good battle challenges, and if the storyline's just too easy, and you get to at least experience the region, all the interactions and stuff that you got in the first game, plus a
Yeah,
little extra.
oh, that's true.
So
That is true. It is definitely easier.
yeah, if you're not able to get a Game Boy Advance and a copy of the game, which are rather expensive.
And that is probably the biggest issue that I have with a lot of it is it's like you say, it's expensive. It's really
Mm-hmm.
expensive. It's one of those things where it's not like if a kid is just curious about Pokemon, they're like, okay, well, I want to start at the beginning because that's what a lot of people do. You see it all the time about like Final Fantasy games or the Tales games or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
People always wonder like, oh, well, I always hear people saying that the first whatever is really good. It's really hard for those kids to get into this then. Like, it's just really pricey.
It is big time.
On to the next.
Yep.
Black 2, White 2 is number 2.
Interesting. That is fun.
Interesting, he says. Gen 5 was a revolutionary era for the Pokemon franchise, and the first ever direct sequels, Pokemon Black 2 and White 2, encapsulate everything that made it so great. Original Black and White games set a solid foundation by introducing the Unova region, filled with all new Pokemon, a captivating story with an all-time great rival, and music that absolutely shreds, and then the sequels made it all sorts of new heights. The massive Pokedex features creative monster designs and unique typings, and most notably mixes in legacy Pokemon that make early game team building much more exciting. The story builds on the events of the first two games, offering an epic and hard earned payoff to the overall narrative. And visually, Black 2 and White 2 take full advantage of the Nintendo DS hardware to deliver breathtaking 3D vistas, dense cities, cinematic bridge traversals, and intricate details throughout. Not to mention, Black 2 and White 2's post game is incredible. Catch numerous legendary sharpen your battling skills at the Black Tower or White Tree Hollow and try your luck in the Battle Subway or the Pokemon World Tournament. These games offer a definitive Pokemon experience.
True story.
True story.
Yeah, they really are pretty good. I remember watching this one Poketuber that was he does a lot of Nuzlocke runs and hardcore challenge type runs.
Yes. Yep.
Name Sylph Spectre, and
Hmm.
it's so much fun watching him do his stuff. He did one that I just saw it. I think he did it quite a while ago, but it was with the Gen 5 game, and he makes note of when you go across this one bridge. It's like the first big bridge that you come across, and how visually, when we first saw this, when it first came out, it was absolutely breathtaking. Just then, like how good they did with the graphics and everything. It's like it really was a step up at that time.
Yep.
And yeah, they like that was with Black and White as well. And then the sequels definitely took it up a notch. But yeah, I mean, there's a whole new array of Pokemon that you can get. And it was funny because there was only one thing I didn't like about the Gen 5 games. And so when I start a new game, I always start with the fire type.
Yes.
So
Always.
with Gen 3, you start with Torchic
Hmm.
and you finish with Blaziken, who is a firefighting type.
Yeah.
Gen 4, you start with Chimchar, who evolves into an Infernape eventually,
Hmm.
who is a firefighting type. Gen 5, you start with Tepig, who evolves into Embor, who is a firefighting type.
Yeah.
My only issue with Gen 5 was why another firefighting starter? That was literally it. I love the game.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
It's like, please.
Tepig's okay.
I mean, Embor is a great Pokemon. Like, there's nothing diminishing those three different fire starters that end up as firefighting types.
Hmm.
But it's like 3 generations in a row you get to firefighting. It's like, okay, how about a new one?
I want a fire psychic type.
Exactly, Gen 6.
Yeah.
Delphox. So good.
Oh man.
But yeah, definitely phenomenal games, that's for sure.
So, what do you think is number one?
Well, the one I'm waiting for is Heart Gold Soul Silver.
Okay. Okay.
Which one are you waiting for?
Honestly, I was actually expecting like the OG Pokemon to be number one, and that's was like,
Okay.
okay, well if that's number three, like the remixes that they did, I was like, I don't know, I don't know. I'm
Okay.
still
So then,
surprised that number eight was Sword and Shield. That disappointed me.
yeah, me too, for sure. And like I said, Emerald should have been higher, and Fire Red probably should have been lower.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's interesting.
So
Well,
Heart
let's see
Gold,
what.
Soul Silver. All right. Yeah, he got it.
Perfect.
Simply put, Heart Gold, Soul Silver are as good as it gets. After all, the original Pokemon Gold and Silver were near perfect sequels. They're really good. Expand on the
Mhm.
first gen's Pokedex, added two new types that significantly balanced out the weakness/resistance chart, and famously included the entire Kanto region as a bonus to players who beat Johto's Elite Four. Later, Crystal took those games, added an option to play as a male or female trainer, animated Pokemon sprites, enhanced the story with a focus on Suicune. Then, somehow, Pokemon Heart Gold and Soul Silver took those original games, made them even better in virtually every way possible, updating the graphics, including several core and quality of life changes from the Gen 4 games, and created an experience definitively say is the best Pokemon has ever been. Nothing in Pokemon, and we mean nothing, has been as thrilling, challenging, or downright rewarding as fighting Red and putting everything you've got into being the very best like no one ever was.
Oh
Oh, I
yeah.
like how they put that last sentence in there. Oh, that's lovely. But no, you got it. You got
Got
it.
it. Perfect. I'm so glad we at least agreed on that one.
Yeah, their list was interesting, to say the least. I would
Mm-hmm.
say I disagreed with, well, Conquest. I don't know how that could be actually really good.
Mm-hmm.
Go, I'm okay with. Puzzle League, no. Actually, you know what I'm surprised with? There's a lot of spin-offs. And Puzzle
Yeah.
League, I would not put. Yeah, I thought they're just a little bit too harsh than Sword and Shield.
Yeah.
Snap, I'm okay-ish with that. And yeah, RCS. Yeah, it's just weird to think like these are all the newest, the three newest ones, right?
Yep.
Arceus, Snap, Sword and Shield. And that's
Mm-hmm.
10, 9, 8. And then everything else is like, yeah, Puzzle League. This is where I was kind of iffy on things. That we actually got to like a traditional game at number 5, and I was like, well, what are you gonna do? And then you get Conquest. I'm like, well, I don't know anything anymore. I thought the list was gonna be really weird then, right? Yes, sir. And I will say that the coolest thing for me with the Gold and Silver was, like they said here, including the entire Kanto region as a bonus.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool. I was like, whoa, there's more game to be played.
Exactly.
There's a
It's
whole
like
lot
a
more to be played.
lot more.
Yeah, that was cool.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that kind of raised the bar for what you get for like post game after you do like your gyms and all that. So very
Yeah.
cool. And yeah, we are getting close now. We're getting pretty close to the two new Pokemon games. And we could see what happens, what kind of post game do they have? Are they
Mm-hmm.
balanced? Is the story good? Or is it going to be another thing that goes with the 10, 9, 8 down there?
Yeah. It'll be at
uh,
11. Oh.
11. An honorable mention to the newest game that came out. It's pretty good, but it's not that good.
Right? That would be so devastating. Well, speaking of devastating, that's the end of our podcast here. So next week you can tune in and you're going to hear our top 10 lists. And no, it might not be synonymous with each other, but it's good. And so, yeah, this is DHR signing off.
And this is the Red Viking signing off as well. Have a great rest of your week, everybody.
Toodles.